Alright, so I'm sure you've noticed your grocery bill spiking lately, especially tomatoes, orange juice, coffee. Well, that's not just inflation, that's the new trade policy. The US is now using food as a weapon, and the war has already started. And you're not just the collateral damage, you're the front line. Welcome to the war. Not just joking. Welcome back to America's Geopolitics. If you're done with globalist bullshit and ready for straight talk, subscribe now. Today, we're looking at something nobody's really talking about. America's new tariffs are hitting your dinner plate, and that's not by accident. Let's start with tomatoes. On July 14th, the U.S. officially terminated the 1996 Tomato Suspension Agreement, slapping a 17 to 21% tariff on fresh tomatoes from Mexico. That may sound technical, but here's what it means. Over 70% of our fresh tomatoes come from Mexico. That's your salsa, your ketchup, your salad, your pizza night, and now, because of tariff, prices are projected to jump 10 to 20% at the retail level. This wasn't a glitch. It was a strategic move, justified as an anti-dumping policy, meaning Mexico was accused of selling tomatoes too cheaply and hurting U.S. growers. The reality? This is part of a larger trade war. And tomatoes? Well, they just happen to be one of the most vulnerable pressure points. And you know what? It doesn't stop there. Trump's administration recently targeted Brazil with sweeping new tariffs on orange juice, coffee, and beef, some as high as 50%. If you're wondering why your next burger or breakfast costs more, well, there's your answer. What's behind this? Officially, it's about protecting American agriculture. Unofficially, it's a retaliation. Brazil's Supreme Court recently took a shot at U.S. trade policy. And Brazil's deepening ties with China? Well, hell, that's another red flag. So Trump responded, not with troops, but with tariffs. This is food diplomacy with teeth. So who's getting hit the hardest? Well, as you've already guessed, it's you. A report from Yale's Budget Lab estimates tariffs on food and packaging will raise grocery prices by 2.6% across the board, and produce specifically by over 4%. That may not sound catastrophic, but that's an extra $490 a year in grocery costs. And for the average American household, that hits home. Guess what? Perishables, you can't hoard. Tomatoes, you can't stockpile. So when those prices go up, you pay now or you go without. And we've entered a new kind of warfare. Economic trench warfare, where consumers, they bear the cost of strategic policy. This war doesn't end with fresh produce. When tariffs hit aluminum and steel, canned goods go up. Your Campbell's soup, your canned tuna, your baby formula, everything packaged in metal is now more expensive. Didn't even think about that. It's the hidden inflation nobody explains to you. And when those supply chains get squeezed, when costs rise for packaging, trucking, even refrigeration, you start seeing it everywhere. From the school lunch program, to food banks, to what your local diner has on the menu. It's not just inflation, it's policy-driven disruption, a strategic reshaping of what we grow, what we import, and what we expect to be able to afford. Now, question we all want to ask, is it worth it? Maybe it is. Maybe it's time America stops depending on fragile food chains that stretch across oceans. Maybe we need to bring our food supply home, to invest in greenhouses, regional farms, and next-gen logistics. Because here's the reality. If we can't grow it, or store it, or move it without foreign partners, we're vulnerable. And let's be brutally honest. This won't be easy. You can't just wish local farming into existence. You can't magic up some domestic orange groves in Michigan or tomato fields in New York. Building true food independence takes time, infrastructure, labor, and yes, short-term sacrifice. We're talking higher prices, regional shortages, and potential political blowback. It's one thing to tax luxury cars. It's another to price out breakfast for 300 million people. And yet, there's something bold about it. Something necessary. If the goal is to rebuild America's resilience, to stop relying on countries that could turn hostile, then maybe the pain is worth the gain. But only if we're honest about the cost. Only if we stop pretending this isn't a food crisis, it's a food reset, and it's not going away. If you're tired of the media skipping past the real story, subscribe to America's Geopolitics. We're breaking these changes down every day, and tomorrow we'll look at how Mexico is preparing to strike back and what that could mean for your grocery store bill.